Hey y'all, I hope you're having a great spring day. It's Leslie with Phat Cat Flossing. Today is Friday, April 12th, 2019, and this is FlossTube number 69. Where does time go? It just flies, man, especially when you're having fun like this. I hope y'all are having a great Friday and are ready to have a wonderful weekend. I have my fingers crossed because I have a few hurdles to jump, but we'll get to that. It's been a busy, crazy few weeks here. I know y'all know that I have lots of baby kittens and they take a lot of work, and then it's just been busyness. I took two girls, Rosie and Nexie, to the vet on Monday to be spayed. Let's see, last time I talked to y'all a couple weeks ago, I had the upper respiratory crud. That's gone, thank God. Thanks for everybody who said they helped. I felt better. I did, and I sure appreciate y'all's good thoughts and prayers. Steve had the creeping crud. He got sick on Sunday and called in sick on Monday, which is very unusual for him, and kind of was pretty pitiful through Tuesday, but he, thank goodness, is feeling better. This weekend is the citywide cleanup here, so I have spent the last couple of days spring cleaning, and yesterday we cleaned out a bunch of crap out of our shed and our garage and have it on my in-laws' little trailer to haul down to the city and get rid of it, because there is no convenient landfill or anything real close to us. We have to drive about 20 miles, 25, 30 miles into Port Smith and pay a bunch of money to get rid of stuff. So tomorrow we're going to take all that stuff, and it's supposed to rain all day, so that should be fun. But anyway, we're going to get rid of it for free, so I'm all about that. And then Sunday, I have to go to Dallas, which actually to Mesquite, which is about 6 to 6.5 hours. Hopefully, since it's a Sunday, and hopefully the weather won't be too bad. So I'm hoping traffic won't be crazy. Steve's planning to go with me and do the driving, so that's nice. I'm hoping maybe I'll get some stitching done on the way. We'll see. I'm going down there to meet my friend Charlotte at a cat show. I don't have anything to show right now, but I'm going to meet her and get my two girls who've been at her house for stud and take back her girl and her kittens to her. So we're going to meet and visit for a little while and swap off cats. What else is going on for me? I got my tax stuff sent in today. Better late than never, right? Well, not officially late yet, but I usually have it done earlier in the year than this. I just kind of procrastinated this year. But hey, I'm done. Of course, we owe a bunch of money, but you know, I wouldn't know what to do if we were getting money back or didn't owe money. Okay, let's see. What else? I think that is about it. And I have gotten a little bit of stitching done. Not a whole lot, because it's just been kind of one thing and another. Y'all excuse me fiddling with my hair. It's still wet. What was it? I had a point with that. Oh yeah, I took a shower. I gotta go run errands. I gotta go buy a water hose. I've had the 6-week-old kittens in the playpen, and they've been out of the playpen for a week or 10 days, but I've left the playpen in there with a litter box in it because they weren't real good about hitting the spot when they were going. So they're pretty well litter box trained. So I'm taking the playpen out, but before I put the next bunch of kittens in it, because I've got 3 that are 4 weeks old, and you know, they're about ready to graduate out of the crate into the playpen, but I got to take the playpen out and scrub it. So I went out today to scrub the playpen and turn on the water hose. Y'all, it looked like a cartoon. I turned it on and it just went water all over the place. Apparently, we've weed whacked it a time or 20. So I have to, when Steve gets home from work, we're going to go run some errands. I got to go buy a new water hose so I can scrub the baby playpen and get ready to put kittens in it. If it's not one thing, it's 20, I swear. But anyway, before he gets home, let's get this done. Let's talk about a little cross stitch. Cross stitch. Apparently I'm tongue-tied today. I did have a finish. This is Goat Load from Plum Street Samplers. And I started this as part of Emily C's birthday sal. Even though I plan to do these as a series, I have 4 more of these patterns, and I plan to do them as a series of 5 all in one piece. So I have gotten to, I'm calling it a finish. I have not filled in this top row of border, but I am intentionally leaving that blank until I have the other pieces done on the side of it, because not all the pieces, there's like a 2 to 5 stitch variation in the height. So once I'm gonna line them all up at the bottom, and then when I get up to the top, I'll fill in and repeat a motif or do whatever I need to do to make it look right. So I'm calling it finished for now, since I'm not gonna finish that upper border until I know what I'm doing. And I'm very happy with the way it came out. This is a 36 count, it's called Honey, from Hand Dyed Happiness. And it is a beautiful piece of linen. It's a very pretty neutral. It's got little bits of amber and greenish and goldish in it. I'm gonna need more of it. And it's the kind of linen I like, because it's not super drapey soft, but it's soft. It doesn't feel crunchy. It has a pleasant feel, and it does have some structure. So my stitch tension is pretty good on it. So happy with that. I'll be starting the next one of those at some point. I don't have any specific plans for when, but sooner or later. And then I had another finish. This is Peace from Little House Needleworks. And apparently I don't know how to do anything small without making a big hoop-de-doo out of it, because I'm doing all 12 of them in the Pat Carson layout. And up here at the top is Peace. And I finished that, I don't know, one day last week. It escapes me now. This is also a 36 count. This is, I think this is Vintage Country Mocha. I'm not entirely positive about that. I've slept since then. Sorry for the grumpy cats. It's spring and they're all in heat. I do have a question for y'all. You see here on this sheep, there's this little heart, and on the pattern, it's not filled in, but it's really hard to see. So I'm debating whether I want to fill that in, maybe with a pink. I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think. Should I fill it in, or should I just leave it like that? I don't know. But anyway, it's done. That means I have 4 of the 12 of these done. So I'm kind of planning to do one a month from now through the end of the year, because I would really like to finish this by the end of the year. I didn't make it part of my Stitch 9, and that whole thing is kind of out the window because I'm not following my plans. But I would like to finish it by the end of the year. So I'm going to hope to do about one a month. And if I actually sit down and work at it, I get one of these done in about 2 to 3 days. I also charted out the center is the Sheep in the Meadow pattern from Country Cottage. And it said something like sheep in the meadow singing their song, something like that. But I changed that to be the first line of Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. I graphed that out and did that on this past Sunday. So I'm happy with my progress on that. I started this in December. I got the majority of that center panel and one of the other pieces done while Steve was in the hospital. And I've been trying to do one a month. I haven't quite kept up on that, but that's my goal anyway. It's important to have goals. Couldn't tell you I'm real good at meeting them, but it's important to have goals. And then for whips, and I am really close to a finish on this one, y'all. This is Easter Notes from Shepherd's Bush, and it's tiny. There is no reason I have not gotten this done, other than like many Shepherd's Bush patterns. There are 9,000 color changes. But I'm very close. I have a couple more of the words to put in. I think there's a little motif up here in the handle of this basket. And then there's, did I do that? Nope, I already did that. That's about it. Finish these eggs here. So all I gotta do is sit down and do it. So I think on Sunday, if I get stitched while we're traveling, I'm gonna try to work on this. I don't always do real well on 36 count in the car. Depends on how bumpy the road is. but I'm close. And I'm doing this. This is a 36 count even weave from Hand Dyed by Rolanda. And it's just a miscellaneous, whatever kind of colors I pulled out of my stash. They're mostly Victorian Motto, I think, but they're not the call for colors. I just winged it. Been doing a lot of that lately. Y'all pardon me while I get a drink, please. Oops. Have to pattern out. Okay. One of the other things I've worked on is Love Never Fails from Barbara Anna. I love this piece. I was not cross-stitching. I was in my 15-year hiatus when Steve and I got married in 2002. And I've never done like a couple's sampler for us, or anniversary or wedding or anything like that. So that's my intention for this piece. And I have the center pretty much done. Since y'all saw it, I have added this flower here and this flourish. And this flourish, I had the flower done, but I added it. And then I got the bird outlined. And my plan tonight is to try to outline this other bird. So again, tomorrow, if I'm not paying real close attention, I can just fill in. I find that much easier to do in the car than really counting. And I would have been further along on this. I think I did half of this star Tuesday night, and then Wednesday afternoon I sat down and finished the star and was 90% done on this flower when I realized that I had centered the star off of the bird's wing and not the bird's tail. Now, I was already on my third time stitching the flower because I just could not get it right. I screwed it up twice. So I had finally, on the third time, gotten it stitched correctly, but in the wrong place. So then I had to rip both of those out, and Wednesday night I got the star done again and got started again on the flower. This time in the right place. And this is the start of the guy's top hat here. So I'm anxious. I'm looking forward to getting started on the people. But I'm happy with that. This is another one that I want to have done by the end of the year. I just need to get it together and get it done. And this is on 36 count. I think this is vintage navy bean. I might not be right about that. I've also slept since I looked at that. And these are not the call for colors. This is a conversion that was done for me by Julie McConnell of Reflections Framing in Omaha to Carrie's Creation Silks. And the Carrie's Creations are very nice to work with. I do enjoy working with them. I love silk, period, and they're nice. And then the last thing I worked on, whoops, there's all my crap, was Joyeux Noël from Blackbird Designs. This is from the Home for the Holidays book. I think that's, no, I don't know. One of the Blackbird Design books. I'll put the right name in the show notes. It may just be called Joyeux Noël. Anyway, I am doing this in silks. This is a piece, it's a fabric flare fabric. I don't remember the name of it. It's a very, very pale blue, and it's only modeled on the one side because it's a printed linen. And this is my own conversion to just miscellaneous silks that I had. And there are, I think there's one or two Glorianas, a couple of Belle Soies. The majority of them are SILKS4U silks. And I'm very, very happy with the way it's coming out. I do have a major screw up. This row right here, this alphabet is supposed to be done in a 4-sided stitch. And I knew it was supposed to be done in a 4-sided stitch. I had read the directions. But I just sat a couple weeks ago and just stitched that whole alphabet, not in 4-sided stitch, in cross stitch. And when I went, wait a minute, that's supposed to be above that line of snowflakes, not below. Oops. And I counted my linen down here, and I'm pretty sure that I am good. So I did not rip it out. I just restarted that line in the four-sided stitch here. And I have to tell you, I am not a big fan of four-sided stitch. But I did learn a trick while I was doing it. One of the things I don't like about it is it doesn't seem to lay very nicely. And I've always done it where I did, you know, one side, the top, the opposite side, the bottom, go on. One side, the top, the opposite side, the bottom. I discovered that if I stitched all of the vertical box sides, you know, this side of the box, 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 up and down, and then I went back and did bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom, top, and did all the horizontal stitches at once, that they laid much more nicely. And don't know if y'all will be able to tell, but my A and B there don't lay real nicely, whereas by the time I had figured this out and gotten over to this end, the stitches are much neater. So I did figure out that if you're doing a four-sided stitch, try doing it with the, you know, do like all the horizontal or all the vertical, whichever one you want to do at one time, and then come back and do the opposite sides. And it does seem to lay prettier than, you know, doing all four sides of the box at one time. It's my tip of the day. Probably the only one I'll have. I am going to change the wording on this. I've got that charted out last week too. I just haven't gotten to putting it in. It's gonna say welcome friends. And hopefully I'll be done with that soon. And I have loved working with those silks. One more drink while I think. Truthfully, if I had to drink every time I thought, I'd be floating. It'd be an ocean. What else? I'm getting the itch for some new starts. And I've had a couple of finishes. My problem is my finishes have been things that are part of a bigger thing. So I haven't like had anything where I've emptied out a project bag and, you know, moved forward. But I decided that I am going to go ahead and start a couple of new things. And one of the things I'm going to start, this is the Land of Liberty book from Blackbird Designs. And if y'all watch Lynette at Homesteading on the Home Front, and you should, she just finished this, and I am about to start it. A lot of folks that were at the Frugal Yankee Retreat, I wish I could have gone, are doing something out of this book. But this is a very cute little small from Blackbird Designs. The design size is only 65 by 81. So hopefully I can whip that out before too long. And I do like doing houses. So I plan to start that. If I get home from running errands in time tonight to get stuff pulled and get started, I may start that tonight. And then the other thing I'm planning to start is a Christmas small. This is Home for Christmas from Plum Street Samplers. This was part of one of the clubs. I think it was one of the Dying to Stitch clubs, but I don't know for sure. It was funny how I got this. I had, Jen Hicks and I have corresponded back and forth and swapped a couple patterns, and I had asked her if I could have, when she was done with it, if she would pass this along to me. And she said, of course she would. And around that same time, Linda Jo from Pretty Southern had put this up on her Instagram and said she wasn't going to do it. Did somebody want it? And I said, me, please. But I was too late. And Tamara Bowen from, oh, Tamara, I'm sorry. I've forgotten your channel name now. This Nana Stitches, I think. Beat me to the punch, and she got it. Well, Tamara has decided that she doesn't want to stitch on linen anymore. She wants to stitch on Aida. So Tamara very kindly sent me this. Thank you so much, Tamara. And Jan is going to send the pattern to Tamara since she's going to kit it up with her own Aida anyway. So we both got one. So Tamara, again, thank you so much. I'm planning to start this. I think it's an adorable pattern. And I will think of you and your generosity when I'm stitching it up. Thank you, ladies. Okay, what else? I guess that brings me to haul. I've been moderately good about Stitch from Stash. I did fall off the wagon with Market, but I made project bags out of my fabric stash and sold those project bags to have money to pay for Market stuff. And then I made a couple more and sold a couple more because 2 weeks ago, I think Monday will be 2 weeks, I think. I had to go to Little Rock to the airport there to ship a kitten out. Well, not to ship her, to meet her new mommy coming in to pick her up. And since I was going to Little Rock, I stopped by the Stitcher's Garden in Conway because one of my market hauls was Elizabeth Weston from Hands Across the Sea. And this just may be the prettiest sampler I've ever seen. It's my colors, those pinks, springy colors, pastel. I love it. I think it's beautiful. And I had decided I didn't want to do it on the called for. And what I decided I wanted to use, this is Ramble, 36 count Ramble from Picture This Plus. And this is Elizabeth is a big girl. This piece is 31 by 31. It's a big old piece of linen. I didn't have anything in my stash that was big enough to do it on. Because the biggest thing I had was a fat quarter. So I stopped at the Stitcher's Garden in Conway, and they were lovely. And cut this for me. And so thank you, ladies. I appreciate it. I think it's very pretty. And while I was there, I got 2 additional pieces. This is 36 count Nessie, also from Picture This Plus. This is one of their new colors. And this is just, it's a little bit larger than a Phat 1/8. I think it's, well, it is a Phat 1/8. I lied. And then this is 36 count blush. Don't remember who the manufacturer is. And I actually got this to start this Brenda Gervais, I think it's Brenda Gervais, Spring Fling pattern, the big white rabbit. I got this to do that on. But I got to thinking, I think that white rabbit might look really pretty on this. I think it's a little bit more of a greeny blue than what it's looking a little grayer on camera here than what it really is. So, what do you think? The pink or the green or blue or aqua? Aqua. We'll call it aqua. So, one of those. But one of those I'm going to use for Spring Fling whenever I get there, sooner or later. And then I am planning to start Elizabeth Weston on May 1st. And I think Christine from Stitch All the Things is going to start with me on that day. And I warned Christine, it's probably going to take me 20 years to do this. It's 77,000 plus stitches. So I'm going to start on May 1st, but y'all are probably going to be seeing Elizabeth for a while. But I did notice Raquel, I'm so sorry, I've forgotten your name now, from the Cottage Needle, had put up a pack with the called for silks. So I splurged way more than I should have and got the silks for Elizabeth because it's such a pretty pattern and I'm going to be working on it for years, and this way I can enjoy these silks for years. So that was all my haul. Oh, and one skein of Nature Trail that I actually went, this is why I went to the Stitcher's Garden to begin with, because I needed a skein of floss. Yeah. Y'all see me bounce off that stitch from Stash Wagon? It's a long way down. But anyway, I'm planning to start Elizabeth on May 1st. She'll be the first of my mania starts. And I'm planning to start those other 2, the Plum Street and the Blackbird sampler, sometime between now and the 1st of May. I'm not going to try to do 19 starts this year. I almost lost my mind with that last year. I found it was cool having so many things to pick from, but I also found it very frustrating to just start something and work on it for one day. The lack of progress, because I don't love starting things. I love seeing progress and seeing it come to fruition. So I'm going to do a modified mania. My plan is, I'm trying to think who said they were going to do this. I'm copying somebody and I don't remember who it is now. But somebody had said they were going to do 1 start per week, so 5 starts during May. And I think that's going to be my plan too. So I'm going to start Elizabeth on May 1st. And then over the next several weeks, I'm going to start, during May, hopefully one thing a week. One of those that I'm tentatively going to start is this is another one of my market haul patterns by Plum Street Samplers. This is the spring salt boxes, and I love this blue house, so I'm planning to start that. And then I did get the Meow design from Hands On Design, and I don't have anything to stitch this on, so whether I start this one will be dependent on whether I get somewhere and get the linen for it or not. Floss isn't a problem. I don't have to do it in the call for, and God knows I've got a metric crap ton of floss. So, but hopefully I'll start that because I think it is adorable. And then this is also a Brenda Gervais pattern, Queen of the Harvest. And I figured if I started this one, and then I have the spring salt boxes, and then I'm planning to start the Home for Christmas later this month. So that'll give me some relatively smaller seasonal things that I can be working on along the way. And then I will probably pick out one or two more that I plan to start, but I'm not gonna do a big mania this year. I've still got a bunch of stuff I started last year that I have accomplished diddly squat on. So we'll see. What else? But I'll give you final choices for mania next time around. Okay. Ooh, I almost forgot to talk about this. I've mentioned a couple times that I'm using SILKS4U flosses on several things, and I love them, and they are the best deal going. And Joe from SILKS4U is hosting a cruise in September of this year. It's on the Royal Caribbean cruise line. I've cruised on Royal Caribbean 4 times and loved it every time. I have actually been on this boat, leaving out of Galveston, Texas. It's beautiful. It's relaxing. It seems expensive, but you have to realize you pay your money up front and then you don't pay anything else. So really, for taking, you know, a 5 to 7 day vacation, it's real cost effective, and the food is to die for. But anyway, they're cruising on the Liberty of the Seas, and this cruise goes to Cozumel, which is lots of fun. You can tour the tequila factories, which we did. There's also a place, depending on the timing of the excursions, you know, when your ship docks and everything, there's a park near Cozumel called Xcaret, and I didn't go to Xcaret the time we cruised. We went separately and went there, but it's a wildlife park and it is awesome. It's called Xcaret. And then it goes to Grand Cayman. On Grand Cayman, I can recommend the submarine ride through the bay and the turtle sanctuary. And then Jamaica. And Jamaica is beautiful. I would recommend, if you're going to disembark in Jamaica, that you do a planned excursion. We didn't, which was poor planning on our part, because it is beautiful, but it can also be, there are a lot of areas of town that are concerning. I mean, you know, you see policemen walking around with Uzis around their neck. So in Jamaica, gorgeous. The people are so kind and nice. But I think a planned excursion is the way to go in Jamaica. But those are all port calls for this cruise, and it's tons of fun. There's going to be 2 classes, at least 2 classes taught by Carol Tinson. And I think this is a picture of one of them. The little biscornu and ort catcher. There is another class that Carol is teaching, and then Joe from SILKS4U is also teaching another class. Joe is on Etsy. It's Silks, S-I-L-K-S, the number 4 and the letter U on Etsy. And her silks are a tremendous value. Her Silk of the Month Club is 5 skeins of 10 yards each. Beautiful, beautiful silk. 5 skeins, postage included, $20. Can't beat it. And the silk is wonderful. She will also, if you go to her Etsy store, you can buy whole hanks of silk for very reasonable prices. But unless you're doing a monochromatic piece, a lot of us don't have a whole lot of use for a whole hank of silk. But if you see a picture, or, you know, a color that you like in a particular hank, but she doesn't have it listed just per skein, if you email her, she will often, you know, sell you a smaller portion if you're interested in that. But anyway, great service. I wish I could go on that cruise. Okay, and then last thing, well, almost last thing. Last week I told you if you commented on the video, you would be entered to win Happy Heart from Shepherd's Bush. I stitched this last year. It's a very cute little pattern. And the winner for that is Fairy Fire 78. And Fairy Fire 78, I commented on your comment a little while ago. If you will email me with your snail mail address, I will get this mailed out to you. And then we have another goodie for this week. This is the Birdhouse Sampler from Charlene Designs. And I no longer remember where I got this. I don't remember if I got this. I may have gotten this off of eBay. Or somebody may have passed the stash to me. I don't remember. But it's really, I thought it would be a very cute little spring design. And all you have to do to be entered for this one is just comment on this video. And the next time I do a video, probably 2 weeks, because that schedule seems to be working for me right now, I'll do the random comment picker thing and send this one out to somebody. You need to be over 18. I sure appreciate it if you're a subscriber. Just comment on the video. You know, don't use the no words, giveaway, freebie, whatever. And let me know if you'd like to stitch it, and I will get that mailed out to you once we've picked somebody to win it. Oh, yeah, did I say be over 18? Be over 18, so it's okay for me to get your address. I think that's it. The usual YouTube giveaway rules. I think that's all I have to talk about, so I'm going to try to upload this before Steve gets home and we go run our errands. I hope y'all have a wonderful weekend, maybe a little bit more restful than what mine's going to be. I hope you get lots of wonderful stitching done and have a great couple weeks. And y'all are a blessing in my life, y'all. I sure appreciate you coming to watch. I pray for every one of you. I hope y'all have a great weekend, and I will talk to you soon. God bless y'all. Bye-bye.